So Donald Trump and the White House are celebrating today. Why? Well, TikTok. For real. White House TikTok just hit 5 million followers. LFG, which means looking for gains, and the fire emoji. Don't miss out. Wow. And the funny thing about this, a lot of things that are funny and absurd about this timeline that we're on, is that TikTok is a young person's platform. If you ever look at that thing, it's just a bunch of people dancing. For real. It's just people dancing for, 60 seconds. And it's like, okay, so do you think young people are going to look at Trump dancing? Is that what they want to see? And they're going to brag about 5 million followers. But these days, much of social media, like this kind of stuff, is a bunch of bots. It's AI slop retweeted by bots, right? Filled with AI generated content. And essentially, this right here represents the US economy these days is, I guess we want to have everything AI. We want to replace you with robots. And then we want to celebrate that by being pumped up with said robots on social media. For real. And if you don't go along with it, he's threatening to put tariffs on your country, right? It says, this is from Bloomberg, President Trump on Friday raised the threat of imposing tariffs on goods from nations that oppose his push to take control of Greenland. Listen to this.
And I may do that for Greenland, too. I may put a tariff on countries if they don't go along with Greenland, because we need Greenland for national security. So I may do that. I'll give you.
Right. So he's threatening to put tariffs on you if you don't support him for taking Greenland. And then he's talking today about why we need Greenland. So it's all about national security, they say, but really it's about AI. Listen to a little bit of this.
Well, we're going to see. NATO has been dealing with us on Greenland. We need Greenland for national security very badly. If we don't have it, we have a big hole in national security, especially when it comes to what we're doing in terms of the Golden Dome and all of the other things. We have a lot of investments in military. We have got the strongest military in the world, and it's only.
And you heard it right there. That was the key. We have a lot of investments, right? And then he starts talking about the military. And I've told you guys about this before, that Elon Musk is like, oh, contracts, government money, government welfare. Hey, I'm in on that, right? And so then Elon's tweeting out, hey, let's do the Insurrection Act. Let's start putting the military everywhere. But from Elon's point of view, let's surveil you, right? Keep you under surveillance with AI. Let's spy on you with AI. Let's send all of our data to the AI. Wow, fantastic. And then they want to replace you, right? And so this is the world that we're in right now. It's as ridiculous as it sounds. And you get Greenland because then it helps you with all your energy needs. Now, what's going on while the Trumpers and Musk are doing that? Canada is very interesting, is building relationships with China.
After your visit, is it fair to say that you're concluding that China is a more predictable and maybe reliable partner to Canada than the United States is today?
Well, let me answer it. I'm going to answer it directly with respect to the relations with China and our engagement with China. And I will say that from the first conversation I had with Premier Li, telephone conversation, then the meeting in New York, the long meeting with President Xi in Korea, and then the meetings over the course of the last few days. There are a number of specific issues, and I've outlined them that where we've made progress in our strategic partnership. But we spent a fair bit of time in all of those meetings about the guardrails, if you will, of the relationship, where we felt we could cooperate, where we had differences of opinion, where we had differences of view in the system, respecting each other's differences in the system. And that sort of candid and consistent dialogue, frank dialogue, that leads to a more predictable and effective relationship.
And so that's what Carney's talking about. And essentially, he's not going to mention U.S. or Trump by name, but basically saying, hey, we're open for business. Same way here in Korea, we're open for business. And even China's like, hey, we're open for business. And Trump's just like, hey, I'm going to threaten you if you don't help me take over other countries, right? It's a difference. And I know when you see the contrast between Trump and Carney, most people are like, I'd like to move to Canada. And seriously, that's what most people are talking about right now. And even Carney's saying, more predictable and effective relationships. Now, when you look at the U.S. point of view, They actually lay it out for you on Fox News how they want to replace you with AI.
Silicon Valley and the White House are betting on AI, and it will solve the affordability crisis. Tell us how that's going to be made possible.
We already see this happening. So there are about 8 or so companies in the country that are using AI robots to build homes. You're going to see those start deploying out this year. Mm-hmm. We're reducing the cost of home building by up to 40%.
Wow.
That's going to make a huge difference for middle-class Americans.
How quickly can people move into those homes?
So much faster, so much cheaper. It complies with all of the zoning ordinances, and it just makes it so much cheaper and faster. We're going to see that deploy this year. But there's more. There's AI companies that are helping do mortgage originations, reducing the cost from $5,000 to $3,000. For a middle-class family, these are huge savings, right? Imagine if you were going to buy your first home and you're seeing the cost of your home reduced by 40% and the cost of originating your loan through a mortgage lender reduced by several $1,000s. Huge savings.
So what's fascinating about this is like they lay out their plan, but probably the Fox viewers don't pick up on it. But if you see the plan is to replace you with robots, be it in blue-collar jobs or I should say, white-collar jobs. You heard it right there. Home construction is one example. The other example, they said the loan processing. They're going to figure out ways to replace you with AI. They'll make the case, guys, it'll lower your costs, but here's the thing. You're not going to have a job. So then at that point, you can't afford anything anyway. And so when they say White House turns to AI on affordability, I would say, well, White House is looking to basically boost unemployment by kicking you out of your jobs. That's their plan. Now, part of this, and I've told you guys about this stuff before, and you're actually seeing it play out live, is what they want to do is kick out as many workers as they can, right? So this would be, say, in home construction, and then there'll be a shortage of workers, and then Elon Musk can say, hey, guys, I got my robots to sell you. But the way they're kicking out the workers, right, is basically ugly, and they know it. This is from Axios. They say, a top Trump advisor told Axios, quote, he wants deportations. He wants mass deportations. What he doesn't want is what people are seeing. He doesn't like the way it looks. It looks bad. So he expressed some discomfort at that. And basically there is an article that just came out. It's actually really interesting if you want to read the whole thing. Republicans, they have internal polling data that's basically saying all the stuff that Trump's doing on immigration is deeply unpopular. I mean, you can all see it on TV. People saw the killing of Renee Good. It's everything's bad. It's bad all the way around, right? But the reason why they keep going with it again is because Elon Musk and such want to sell you a bunch of robots, and they want to create a need for the robots by kicking out all the workers. Like, we don't have anyone to build houses. We need, Elon Musk robot. Let's give them all of our money. Or they want to fire you all at the, federal jobs or otherwise in office jobs and say, oh my God, we don't have any workers. We fired everyone. Oh, well, by the way, I got all this AI. It's going to save you money, but it's not going to add up, And also on this, because again, this all revolves around money. You're going to start seeing ads in OpenAI, which is really interesting. I had wondered when they were going to do stuff like this, and they just announced it literally just a few minutes ago. It says from OpenAI, in the coming weeks, we plan to start testing ads in ChatGPT free and Go tiers. We're sharing our principles early on and how to approach ads guided by putting user trust and transparency first, and we'll work to make AI accessible to everyone. What matters most? Responses in ChatGPT will not be influenced by ads, what they say. Ads are always separated and clearly labeled, they say. Your conversations are private for advertisers. And I always say they say because I'm always leery about, their kind of things because this is just the reality. It takes money to run this stuff and nothing's free in this world, guys. Here's an example. So basically it's going to kind of look like Google. And for those of you who have Google, you know how it is. I mean, we all use Google. You type it in and it's a lot different than it used to be. Now it's like there's 4 ads at the top and then you get to your search results. So then some people have said, okay, I'm going to switch over to these chatbot things. But they're losing money. These people are underwater. So they got to figure out how to make money too. It's a business, right? So we're going to have to put ads in there and it's going to change your experience. And then you're going to go to like a subscription type of model. The same way with Netflix. And Netflix or even Disney these days give you choices. If you want to go cheaper version, you can get some ads and then you pay, a lower price, or you can go no ads and pay more. At the end of the day, it costs money to run a business, which is completely understandable.
To prepare America's next generation to use AI to enhance their education and ultimately their careers. Indeed, this is an incredible time. We are living in the age of imagination. The age of imagination is a new era, powered by artificial intelligence, where one's curiosity can be satisfied almost magically in seconds. You are fortunate to have the capability to fulfill your dreams through the power of learning, with AI serving as the primary engine for creative exploration. History reminds us that curiosity is the driving force behind every great achievement.
So then while Melania is out pushing AI and saying, oh my God, all your dreams are going to come true with AI, that's certainly what they're saying. You're going to make movies, you're going to make songs, write books. She goes on and on about that stuff. The thing is, though, if you put it all together, though, remember the goal of AI is to replace you, be it blue collar or white collar jobs, and to build a whole bunch of data centers in your neighborhood. And the question is, and this is actually a headline from Bloomberg today, Trump pushes for emergency power auction to support AI boom. The question is, will we have enough power for all this stuff? Maybe not. That's why we're having this like emergency thing right here. Who's going to pay for these data centers? Who's going to pay for the construction of new power plants to power said data centers? Are you really going to benefit from, all this AI slop out there? Oh, wow, I got 5 million followers on TikTok. Oh, wow, I can, produce all that basically Epstein type content on Elon Musk's platform. That's where we're at. They're pushing for AI and they want to take Greenland. And if you don't support them on that, then they get mad at you and put tariffs. I want to show you a contrast because not every world leader is like Trump. Take a look at what Carney's up to today. He's building partnerships with President Xi. You can see right here. This is from Carney. A pleasure to meet with President Xi in Beijing. Canada and China are forging a new strategic partnership. We're leveraging our strengths, focusing on trade, energy, agriculture, seafood, and other areas where we can make massive gains for both our peoples, which is a partnership. I win, you win, we both win, right? That's why we trade. That's why we make deals with each other. Whereas Trump is like, I win, you lose, and if you don't like it, I guess we all lose. It's so stupid. But and I know it's like you're thinking the same thing as like everyone else is thinking, okay, how can I move to Canada? I mean, seriously, this is what they're doing. And listen to the way that he talks. It's very different.
China's strengths, for example, in electric vehicles are formidable. They're undeniable. These are the most affordable and energy efficient and innovative vehicles in the world. And for Canada to build our own competitive EV sector, we need to learn from, partner with, and access and build supply chains with China. To help deliver on the full potential of these partnerships and to bring down costs for Canadians, we're going to start by allowing up to 49,000 Chinese electric vehicles into the Canadian market at the most favored nation tariff rate, which is 6.1%.
So this is actually really, really big news. So I'll read it here. Mark Carney slashes Canada's 100% tariff on Chinese EVs and announces that up to 49,000 Chinese electric vehicles will be imported into Canada with 6.1% tariff. In return, China has agreed to slash tariffs on canola imports from 84% to 15% by March 1st. So basically, China and Canada are moving away from the USA, which a lot of countries are, and forming other partnerships and other trading blocks. And the reason why you trade is some countries are going to have some things that other countries don't have, right? So that's fine. Canada's like, okay, you're building electric cars, you can build them here, you can sell them here, these kind of things, right? Hey, we got canola, we grow it here, we'll trade you. That's what trade is. And it's a good thing. And I know I always feel strange like having to talk about this stuff because when you live in the Trumpy world, it's just so counterintuitive. And again, the U.S. economy is based on all this AI bubble hype. They want to replace you. Then they promise you're all going to get your dreams. But how's that going to work when you don't have a job? So I want to hear your thoughts on this. These are actually all big news today. And we'll try to cover it more as we hear more. And I'll catch you all in the next video.